In this lesson, we'll begin setting up foot banking control. So in level 1, we created a foot roll rig. So what we'll do here is add to it by learning how to create a system to bank the feet. We'll need a few pivots, and we'll also need to work with an expression. So let's go ahead and get started by setting up those pivot points. Underneath Tools, Manage Layers, we'll go ahead and show our hidden layer. So now we can get to our foot helpers. So these are the helpers responsible for driving the feet for our foot roll. Now the parent helper is the heel helper here, and that's linked directly to our control object. What we need to do is create a few parents above this object, and they will be our pivot points. So a fast way to do this is to create a few groups. So with our heel helper selected, we'll go to Group, we'll create one. We'll name this GRP PIV underscore L underscore, and then we'll indicate this is for the left side of the foot, so that's going to be bank left 01. All right, let's go ahead and choose OK. We'll now go back to our group menu, and we'll choose Open, so we now have access to the group and its child. All right, let's go ahead and grab our group, and we'll go ahead and correct its pivot point. So again, this is going to be on the left side of the character's foot. We'll grab our Move tool and head over to our Hierarchy panel. From there, we'll choose Effect Pivot Only. Let's go ahead and move this over to that side of the foot. I'll also press F3 so we can go ahead and start to bring this down to the base of the foot just to make sure we get the right type of control. All right, great. So this looks good. I'll go ahead and turn off Effect Pivot Only. You'll see that when we start to rotate this, we're getting some banking now. All right, great. Let's go ahead and set up another pivot point for the other side. So with our group still selected, we'll go ahead and create another group. Okay, this is going to be named GRP PIV underscore L underscore bank right 01. Alrighty. So again, we'll need to open this group. And then with it selected, might have to go ahead and click twice on top of that group to get to the new group. That's just one fast way to get to it. But with it selected, we'll now go ahead and grab our pivot tool, grab our move tool, and let's go ahead and move this over to the toe that protrudes out. Great, I'll start to just translate the pivot down. Again, so this will pivot properly when it's time. All right, that looks good. So take a look. If we were to turn off Effect Pivot Only, now watch, when we go ahead and start to use this group, we now can pivot from the other side of our foot. Great, so we have our pivot points in place. Let's go ahead and take our groups and have them stored in our hidden layer. So eventually, we can go ahead and hide them to clean up our rig. So with both groups selected, I'll just go ahead and do a marquee select. They should be right on top of each other. We can now go ahead and highlight our hidden layer and go ahead and add those two. All right. What I'd also like to do is go ahead and freeze the transforms on these objects to kind of zero those out, because when we're ready to set up our expression, it's always best to start with 0 values. So we'll go ahead and Alt-right click and choose Freeze Transform and then choose Yes. Beautiful. So now our groups are cleaned up and we are ready to set up the right side. I'll go ahead and leave that up to you. And in the following lesson, we're ready to work on our expression.